For our Change Nexus for iMIS use case, we're going to demonstrate closing the loop this time. We're going to listen for a webhook when a new member has joined. We're then going to connect that to Zapier, and we're going to send a welcome SMS via Twilio also asking a question. We're then going to wait for the member to respond to that question via SMS, and then we're going to use iAppConnector to look up that person's mobile phone details, and then we're going to use that information to actually write their response into their record in iMIS. So let's get started. So in this example, the first thing that we're going to do is set up our Zap. We are going to receive a webhook from Change Nexus and then send an SMS via Twilio. So we're going to let Zapier's AI figure out the connectors for us. And here you go. It's come up with the first one. So we can just click try it here. And as you can see, our first connection is the webhook, and then it's going to send an SMS. So at this point, we have our webhook URL, and we can copy that. And we switch back to iMIS, and we're going to set up our connection. We'll call this one SMS welcome. Oops. We're going to copy in the Zapier URL. We're going to mark it active, assign the license key. I'm going to choose ultimate tier because we're going to listen for something very specific this time. We're going to look for membership joined because we want to send that welcome SMS. With that, we can save, and we've done everything we need to do here. We also need to go and set up our ultimate tier folder. So we jump into Change Nexus, and we're going to copy from our samples into the Change Nexus folder, creating a new copy. We've got our copy of samples, and now we need to rename this folder to match what we called the connection. And there we go. Now the only one we're really going to have to worry about this time is the membership join. This is the IQA that will get run when the membership is joined. We're going to check what information that's displaying. We're going to get their full name, product code, a few things, not all that much, but obviously we want the mobile phone because we're going to send an SMS. So we need to make a connection to the contact record, and we've got an automatic one there, so that's picked up our ID, iMIS ID, and now we can also display the mobile phone. Okay, so we've got the mobile phone. Now that's obviously going to be critical for our welcome SMS. So now that we've saved that and we've tailored our IQA for this particular automation connection, we can close it, and then we can switch back to Zapier and tell it to listen for the first webhook. Now we have to teach it what the webhook's going to look like, so now we actually have to do a test join. So we're going to go into membership, we're going to join a regular member, oops, hit the Okay, so we're creating our account. It's making me check my address. We're going to use this address, and we'll just have to re-enter our password now. So this will be creating a contact in iMIS. Now note that we'll be ignoring the contact creation. We're actually only interested in the member joining. We're going to skip over the wizard, skip over terms and conditions, and we're going to add the classic member join stuff to the cart and finish. And finally, when we submit our order, the member will actually be joined, and this is where we'll pick up our webhook and Change Nexus will kick in. Now we should have picked up that request. You can see it's caught that webhook coming through to us now. So we're going to use that as our model for the next steps. Now we're going to send an SMS via Twilio. Now I've already added that to my Twilio account, so I can continue. The from number is going to be my Twilio from number, and we're going to put in the number, and we should find our mobile phone here, and here we're going to put in our welcome message. Okay, so we've got some dynamic fields in there. We're asking our question. That's all we really need to do right now. So we're going to continue. Let's publish this. And that Zap is ready to go. Now, the next part of that we're going to do is we're going to close that loop. We're going to wait for that response from the member, and we're going to use iAppConnector to then look up that mobile phone, figure out who's responded, and then update their record with the response. To do that, we're going to have to set up a new Zap. We need 2 Zaps for this. Unfortunately, Zapier won't let you combine them, but that's not a problem. So let's make another one. Now our event is going to be new SMS. That's how we listen for SMSs. To our number. Yes. So now that we have our SMS model, we're able to complete this step. We will then go into iAppConnector. And for our action, we're going to choose to look up an IQA. And now we have to put the path of the IQA in. We're going to use the first result back, and we're not going to continue if we don't get anything back. We also have the mobile phone to input, and we can continue. Now we need to test this, and you can see we have our sample result that's come through, so that's looking good. We're able to move on to our next step. Now we actually want to write something into iMIS, so we're making another iAppConnector connection, and we're going to create an activity. Now in the activity type, I'm just going to use appointment. We're inserting an activity, so we really only need the ID. That's in our search results. Oops, sorry, this one. We'll put that as now. Survey, new member survey response. And in the notes, we might add a few little bits of information just for good measure. Like the full name, perhaps. And the member type. That sort of thing. Okay. So that's going to insert our activity, and also we need to insert the actual response, which is going to come from the SMS, which is the body. So here. So we want to know what they actually said, of course. So that's actually where we figure out whether they said yes or no. Finally, we can test this last step. And everything looks good. So we're going to publish this app. And we're all set. So if we go back to Zapier, we have two new Zaps. One is going to send the SMS, and one is also going to listen for the response. So let's go back to iMIS. We have our Change Nexus connector already set up for this. What we really need to do now is do a new member join and then check the results. So let's do our join. Setting our mobile phone in, agreeing to the terms and conditions, adding the join to the cart, moving on to pay, submitting our order, and this is the point that the member is actually joined. So now that I've responded to the SMS as the new member, hopefully we should see that the activity has been inserted. So we'll quickly test that. By opening an IQA. filtering on our new member's ID. And making sure we display some of those more interesting fields that we filled out. So let's go ahead and run this. And there you go. We've got our information there, including the member type, the full name, and the response they gave. Of course, that could have been put in a more appropriate field, but this is just a demonstration. So you can see in this case, we've succeeded in using Change Nexus to pick up when a new member has joined. We're sending them a welcome SMS. We're then allowing them to respond to that SMS. We're then using iAppConnector to look up the phone number, find the member, and then insert the response against their particular record. So that's really closing the loop on this particular automation use case. So that concludes this particular example. Thanks for watching. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with us if you have any other questions or ideas on other use cases you would like to see. Also, don't forget to check out our website and our other use case videos.